Hello there. How are you? It's 2 minutes after 9 o'clock East time. That's PM here on a Wednesday, the 13th of May, halfway through the month already. Still waiting for it to warm up, although it's warmer tonight than it has been, around 60 degrees or so. But we've had some chilly nights with temperatures getting down into the low 40s. And you're never quite sure how to dress in this weather. So, welcome, everybody. Yeah, Pam Donnelly was first. Karen Phillips, hello. Patrick Vilas, well, welcome, welcome. It's been a while since you've been with us on a live show. Must be Wednesday, right? Neo is here. Hello, Neo. And Miles Wright. Judy was on when we did our little promo earlier from the gazebo. It was a short one. So, welcome to you and hello to Judy as well. Did Miss Willena call Bob Joyce Elvis? There's all kinds of AI programming out there, more than ever, of course, concerning Pastor Bob Joyce, not just here on YouTube, but TikTok and Instagram. There's something forming on Instagram now. There's all the Facebook groups, is Bob Joyce Elvis, etc., etc. There's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of pieces from unknown programmers. And in the case of a video I saw recently, they used that familiar AI voice, which we hear on so many different videos, so many different topics, posing the question whether Miss Willena, well, they're coming out and claiming that Miss Willena, this was before the church service started. When was that church service? Who knows? Who knows? But the claim in the video, which they never substantiate, is that Miss Willena walked over to Bob before the service started. So they're not recording, at least they're certainly not recording anything that will go out to the audience who watch every week. But they're testing and they're getting ready. And the only people that would have heard what happened, if it really happened, and I'm not saying it did, are the people that had already filed into the church. According to this recording, Miss Willena walked over to Bob and addressed him, but she didn't call him Bob. She called him Elvis. Now, no one has ever emailed me at jackthefairguy@gmail.com, jackthefairguy@gmail.com, and said they were there early that morning and heard that happen. The video that alleges this, they do more than allege it, claim that this was a groundbreaking moment, like people talk about the Denton's nightclub in Benton in 2011 when Pastor Bob sang part of American Trilogy. This was a groundbreaking moment that changed a lot of minds, but that's not true. I've never heard of this. And only those that may have been in the sanctuary would have heard it. So if that was you, let me know. But most of the video, 15 minutes worth, is just, nicely edited pictures. There's a big picture crowd out there. This channel, we're more focused on Bob Joyce than early Elvis, but I realize there are people here like Pam and what have you that love Elvis, of course, because if you love Bob and you think he's Elvis, you're going to love Elvis too. But that's not really what we do here. There's a lot of people doing that. And I really feel right now the Bob Joyce topic supersedes Elvis in some ways because all that's been out there. I mean, it's a long time since 1977 when they told us he passed away. So, people seem to have more of an appetite. Well, what's the latest Bob Joyce information? So when the story slows down, as it will from time to time, there's uh, there's not much to say, and that's when people start proposing crazy things, including the regular Elvis programmers will start talking more gibberish than ever, uh, proposing scenarios that are straight out of the Twilight Zone that really don't make sense at all, and they'll pretend that they really know more if you join their VIP section, if you join that part. And most people say that they don't buy it. The views in the regular mix show that people are not responding to vague theories that would benefit some if they were true, but probably aren't true. In terms of the controversy regarding the magazine that Pastor Bob used to write for, it's my opinion that he won't write for them again because of what the publisher said. And then, of course, the editor in chief. But I'm not going to go all into that. We've done it. Um, People ask questions and what have you. And when somebody is doing a video that claims to be involved with the magazine at whatever level, I've never been sure. But when they claim to be involved with the magazine and they're talking about future uh, involvement with Pastor Bob Joyce, well, my BS meter goes off, and I want to express that. But I'm not here to belabor that point. Um, I wish well for all concerned. You know, um, Obviously, statements said in anger can have consequences forever. Doesn't mean that Pastor Bob is the type to hold a grudge or anything like that. He's a man of God. He knows he has to forgive and what have you, but that doesn't mean you have to embrace a brand that you really don't need. Pastor Bob doesn't need any brand, you know. He's got his audience already. And this year he's doing 3 concerts. We'll remind you about the first one, which is now, well, it's just a little more than a week away in Cabot, Arkansas. So we'll remind you about that. Just want to. I do have Fox on because Karen had told me about a story involving Tulsi Gabbard. And I don't see any verification for that, Karen, if you happen to be watching. But the enemies of President Trump will try to put out propaganda because even if it's quickly debunked, it still leaves a certain, it feeds the base of the haters. It feeds the base of the haters. And also, it puts doubt in some people's minds. Tulsi Gabbard has certainly had her portion of scrutiny before she became the director of national security, and she would have a hard time going through an airport. She and her husband would be searched 9 ways to Sunday. She would be harassed. She would be harassed for no valid reason. She has said that because of the conduct of Iran, she could support what President Trump was doing in Iran. She's not for, endless wars. She's not for starting a war, but she is for, of course, the United States defending itself and keeping an evil country from getting nuclear weapons, which they would use first on Israel and then aim them towards the United States. That's just that simple. Anyway, hot mics, hot mics. That is the name of the Billy Bush broadcast. How appropriate for him to name his podcast Hot Mics with Billy Bush, because he had a very big hot mic moment. Now, did he know the mic was hot? That's what we have to ask there. I don't know. You know, I've heard him talk about it, but he never really answered it to my satisfaction whether he knew the mic was hot and he was deliberately doing this. Certainly, Melania Trump thought he was deliberately talking salty talk to President Trump on the bus there. Because she said she felt that Billy Bush was trying to coax her husband into saying the bad thing, bring out the bad boy that's in all men. Yes, even Christian men have the flesh that lurks underneath and can come out for a visit and embarrass a person of faith, just like a person who doesn't claim to have faith. So we all know what the big thing President Trump said to Billy Bush as they were talking about women and how when you're famous, you can get away with more than you could if you're not. So we don't need to say anything more about that. So Billy Bush, after that, was seen as someone who was enjoying everything that was being said, and he lost his TV gig. He lost his TV gig for a while. And sometimes you have to go away for a while, show that you're sorry, and then at some point you can come back. We're a forgiving country. Matt Lauer doesn't seem to have found that forgiveness. He's still away from the spotlight. Kevin Spacey is trying to rebuild his career in foreign countries. That will have a U.S. distribution as well. Let me just say hello to Richard Lyon, the Grand Patriarch. Make me laugh, Jack. Tell a joke so I feel better. I'm talking about a topic, Richard. You know, I'm in the middle of talking about a topic. What did what's his name say from your cousin, my cousin Vinny? Do I amuse you? So this is why topics like this are much better done in a pre-recorded video. You've just proved it that beyond any point. But if I don't come on and do some Bob Joyce, Richard, do you know how detrimental that is? Do I have to chastise you in public? 3 severed heads. Where you been, my third favorite serial killer? Nice to see you. I'm funny sometimes, maybe, but that's not all I am. And I'm just looking at this. Hannity is talking to Rubio on the plane. They're all in China, you know. They're all in China. Hannity's doing his broadcast at 9 o'clock like he normally does, except it's 9 a.m. in China, not 9 p.m. Brenda Gaskill is here. And Helen McDonald from Australia is here. And I welcome you all. 59 watching right now. So we're talking about the topic, hot mics. Well, thank you, Richard. You redeemed yourself in a fine way there. You're in the hospital, in the ER, have to stay overnight for surgery. You know, many times I've asked you questions about health updates, and you hold your information close to the vest. So what kind of surgery will you be having, Richard? I need to know. 1111. Thank you so much for hitting the thanks button, which I guess first you hit the ask button and then the thanks button. I'd love to know more, and you can also email me as well. But gee, surgery in the morning, huh? Wow, want to know more. We talk about Bob Joyce and this video that perhaps you can find. I wish I had written the title somewhere, but perhaps I wasn't meant to give it to you because it's now disappeared. Someone came in and took it. Someone came into this room and took it. But They never provide any proof that Willena accidentally called Bob Elvis or didn't realize that his mic was hot as they were getting ready to do the church service. Um, Another thing that has been alleged is a few days after the death of Lisa Marie Presley, while the public memorial was being held, uh, Pastor Bob Joyce held the Sunday service. They went out of their way to promote that he would be. He held the Sunday service, and that's where he sang "No One Stands Alone" during the praise service. Not a praise song, but he can sing whatever he wants, despite what someone that was in the band at the time tried to tell me. He can sing whatever he wants. And he sang "No One Stands Alone," which is the very song that Lisa Marie used as a tribute song in a video. She did what Natalie Cole did when she sang "Unforgettable" with her father, Nat King Cole, using old footage because Elvis had sang "No One Stands Alone." So she turned it into a duet. It was very nice. Sometimes it was just Elvis singing, sometimes it was just Lisa Marie singing, and then sometimes they would combine the voices using the studio equipment that we have today, which is better than when Natalie Cole did her tribute to her father. And it sounded really beautiful singing "No One Stands Alone." So here it is a few days after Lisa Marie's tragic passing, and Pastor Bob, out of a million songs plus, chose that song to sing on that particular Sunday while the public memorial was going on at Graceland. Some of you feel when the mic was pushed away, he muttered, "I love you, Yisa." Many of you feel that. Um, I'm still on the fence about it. "I love you, Yisa," which was the nickname that Elvis had for Lisa Marie Presley. Obviously, we have a hot mic moment, if you could call it that, with President Biden when he referred to Peter Doocy, the great Peter Doocy, who was exiting the room after a press conference. He was talking about him, and he said, "You stupid SOB." And perhaps Doocy wasn't even in the room, but he certainly heard that because he knew who he was referring to. And he called Peter Doocy a stupid SOB. I can't think of a time when the opposite would be true about the person who was calling somebody that. It certainly, in my opinion, applied to him. But he later apologized for it. To Joe Biden's credit, he called Peter Doocy and apologized for it. So there is that, and we have to state that too. A funny moment came early on in the Obama presidency when he was welcoming somebody, a special guest, to the White House, and said something like, "Michael and I are happy that you're here. Michael and I welcome you here." Of course, his wife's name is Michelle, not Michael. We finally found out, and then I'm going to get off this topic. We finally found out why MACRON got slapped before he got off the jet. He was standing there. You couldn't really see his wife, but you could see MACRON, couldn't see Bridget. And all of a sudden, you see a hand come over and slap MACRON across the face, which belonged to Bridget. Is she really Bridget? Bridget. And we found out that she had discovered, "Gentlemen, you cannot be doing this on your phone. They will always find, they'll see that phone and they'll grab it and see what you've been doing, what you've been up to." And she saw that he was flirting with a very attractive film star, female film star. And she found that. And so before she would walk off the plane with him, she slapped him across the face. We found that out today, or at least that was the first time that I saw it being covered. Well, thank you, Three Severed Heads, $9.99 on the on the thanks button. Thank you so much. It's a great encouragement. Saturday was the pits, and in many ways, in terms of viewership and viewership that the video would have, because I really didn't focus on the magic words. And I hope you can realize that I can't always do that. It would be insincere on my part. I see other people that do that, and they're trying to refurbish and rehash old stuff that they've said a million times. And sometimes you do have to, new people come on and you do have to tell the story again. But you can just see that they're reaching, and it's not getting a big response, which is understandable. People are not stupid; they know when you have nothing and you're trying to turn it into something. Any story that you do will have its quiet moments, but I'm going to go way out on a limb and say you won't feel that way in July. In fact, shortly after Arkansas happens, things will pick up in a different way. But we're very excited about Cabot, Arkansas, because in a week and a half, you'll get a chance to see Pastor Bob Joyce in concert there. And we'll tell you all about that in case you haven't heard. So thank you, Three Severed Heads, $9.99 on the thanks button. And thank you, Richard Lyon. Now, did you answer me? Let me see here. You don't like to discuss these things too much, so maybe you can shoot me an email or a text. You could do that. You are the Grand Patriarch, you know. Hi there, my friend. Jupiter's Realm, says the Tennessee Titan. That would be Todd Bradshaw. And good day. No, not good day. I always have to think of some of these abbreviations. Good to see you. I got it, didn't I, Todd? I'm not completely in the realm of out to lunch yet. I hope I'm not headed that way. Jupiter's Realm says good evening. Jack Security was called on me. I hope you're going to be nice about this and not be. Jack Security was called on me. I told a lady to be nice at the ER because she was being rude at the front desk. I know there are times you just, I felt the same way, Elaine. You just, you're reminding me of one time when I was a crew chief at McDonald's. I felt I had to go up there and address some jokers who were, the very attractive female server. Could have been an attractive male server, but it was an attractive female service, and they were just not a service, but not a waitress either, but someone taking their order, front desk person. Back in the days when we had a pad and pencil, it was like that. You had to check off things on a pre-printed ticket, and you had to add it with your own skill with the pencil. The prices would be listed on the menu ticket. So, yeah, I've seen that, and you just never know these days. It's like, being on the road and someone cuts in front of you and you start laying on your horn. It could lead to your death in 2026. They could literally stop the car, come out with a gun and shoot you in the head and move on and maybe get away with it. It's the same thing when you go to a place like New York City that has long well, it's been years now since it's been a safe environment. You can get beaten on the street, and nobody steps in to help you. They don't want to be the next person beaten, and no one ever goes to jail. No one ever gets arrested for it. Happens all the time. So Nancy DeMarco is here. After all these years, I am sure Willena has learned to call him Bob, just so she doesn't slip. I would think so too. It just wouldn't be the time to use any other name. Should there be another name? Maybe she has a pet name for him, you know? A pet name. Good Sam Hospital in West Palm Beach. I didn't know there was one. I only know the one in, well, where is Good Samaritan Hospital in New York? Is that Suffering? Or am I going nuts, Richard? Suffering? No, it doesn't sound right. That's the hospital in Suffering. A lot of people go there. But where is Good Samaritan Hospital in New York? I must say, says Three Severed Heads, when hearing Bob's sermon, he rambled a bit, and it sounded exactly like EP when he rambled in the last footage of him at the piano singing Unchained Melody. Was that last Sunday? He sang on, or are you talking about in Alabama, the Alabama concert? That's where he would have done that, right? He certainly did a beautiful version of You Never Walk Alone in Coleman, Alabama, didn't he? A beautiful version. I almost thought it was somebody else singing. I almost thought it was. I'm going to change the subject on you, Jack. What do you think Prince William will do to that Rottweiler after King Charles dies? This is bizarro night. That's not just changing the subject, Pam. I have to be honest and tell you I know nothing about a Rottweiler. I don't think that it's funny you mentioned that because that's not the first time I've been surprised about someone having a dog tonight. Karen sent me a picture just before air, and I can't believe it's true. I'll show you that. But I do not know that. You either love a Rottweiler dog or you don't, and you don't want them laying on your bed and et cetera, et cetera. You don't want that in your life. I know Rottweilers can be beautiful, gentle dogs. They can also kill you, and he'll have to make that call. Katina Swatsworth. Hi, Jack and family. Welcome, Katina. How are you doing? Nice to see you here from the great state of Pennsylvania. Any concerts coming to Pennsylvania this summer, Katina? What do you think? Let's see here. I saw Jody Smith. I did. Where is she? I'm not ignoring you, Neil. I'm just trying to catch up. You like catch up, Neil? There's Jody. And there she makes it easy to find her because she hit the thanks button for $2 in beautiful turquoise. Thank you, Jody Smith, the great encourager, as I call you. It's very welcome, whether it's $1, $2, $5, or more, if you can so afford it. Let's see here. He talked about fathers. You mean Pastor Bob? He talked about mothers, right? It was Mother's Day. We're going to play a clip from the sermon. I can tell you right now, the crowd that uses they and them won't be happy with this sermon, but he's talking about God's order and God's plan, and he's not doing it in a hateful way. He's not doing that. So how did he tie in fathers? Let's see here. Just want to see here. Curry ketchup. There, that it started off normal and went to, I've never heard of curry ketchup, Neo, but that is so Neo. Pam, there's other names. There is. What other names would that be? And what specifically do you mean? Yeah, I think you spell girl the British way, Elaine, right? I thought I did mention you, but maybe not. Hello, Elaine Peterson. sister of Paul Peterson of the Donna Reed Show. Yeah, some people love those big dogs. I used to really want an Irish setter, red setter. Always used to want one growing up, but I never did. I had some big dogs as a kid. I had at least one collie named Laddie. That means it was a boy, a real boy, not trying to pretend to be a boy like all the lassies were trying to pretend to be girls when they were really boys. All the lassie dogs were really boys. So you got to watch those camera angles when you got that going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Had a busy week. Madness reigns. Yes. We're so busy with our chores. I don't know how old you are, Three Severed Heads. So I don't know what is likely to fill your week. But I know at my age, it's a mix of shopping, going to the shop right, going to the doctor, either Karen or me, um, procedures once in a while. Um, May 3rd, he talked about the prodigal son. Right. Okay. Not the last sermon, but yeah, I did see some of that. Okay. I'm going to be playing something from the Mother's Day sermon, a little clip here. I'm reading what Helen is saying to Pam. She's the queen. How do you say it? The queen consulate, Camilla, right? Well, I'm no one to criticize poor choices, but it was certainly a poor choice to not tell King Charles, who was then Prince Charles, to not tell him, oh, you're married now. This has got to end. I'm not going to do this. You don't want to do this. Your whole reputation is on the line. This is all going to come out. We're done. You chose Diana. I'm stepping away. I am no longer available to you. They expect guys to follow that kind of thing. So I think it should apply to her too. Just a thought. I don't know. But I think she's kind of pretty. I mean, I saw her, obviously with the king. I thought he handled himself very well in the United States. He spoke very well. He was funny. He was everything that he can't seem to be for his son. I'm not sure if it is his son, Harry. He just let him be totally humiliated during his official coronation. There's Harry in the cheap seats and King Charles. What a class act he would have been if he would have said, wait a minute, and just walked over to his son Harry back there and said, what are you doing in the cheap seats? Come on, we've got a place for you. Well, instead, not only did he not do that, at the end of the thing, Harry's out waiting for somebody to pick him up. Nobody is picking him up. And his father apparently wanted nothing to do with him. That was weird stuff. That was weird. I'm sure he regretted ever going, Harry. Consort pronounced consort. Neil, you always come up with something unique. Sometimes good, sometimes it's bloody lousy. Be careful, everyone who buys anything great value food at Walmart, because Walmart has recently gotten into trouble for great value products. In trouble for great value products underway, despite what the package says. Okay, I got to think about what you're saying there. We buy great value sometimes, not a lot. When we go to Walmart, which is not that often to buy food, it's usually when we're, I'm looking for a YouTube shirt, which I'm not wearing tonight, or something like that. And, there's some good buys there. We notice that, we'll buy their half and half, the great value half and half, and a few things, but they tend to price the brand names less than the local supermarket chain. So, what Charles' speech to the Congress on YouTube? It was really a great speech. I agree with you, Helen. I thought he was funny. I thought it was informative, and I like Harry too. It's not uncommon for this kind of thing to happen when one spouse is more controlling than the other, and the spouse that puts up with that and looks the other way is puppy dog in love with that person. And also, in Harry's case, he really he was ready to get away from all the pomp and circumstance of being a royal, and I think he was looking forward to coming to the USA. That doesn't excuse all her behavior and the things that she said and what have you, but you kind of understand that when someone is madly in love with someone, they're not going to be quick to want to denounce them. What's that song? When a man loves a woman. Let me pull that up here. I'm running out of tabs. When a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. I'm going to skip a little. She can do no wrong, turn his back on his best friend if he put her down. Percy Sledge sang that song, If a Man Loves a Woman, and truer words are often never spoken. Made me think of that song. Just checking to see if Tulsi's in trouble. Karen told me that Tulsi's office had been raided. I don't see any verification of that. Everyone knows Wendy. I'm late. Well, they have a test for that in the pharmacy. Where did Willena call him Elvis? I'd love to see that. Yeah, this is that people come in late and see the headline. Oh, I don't think it ever happened, but there's a video. I wish I wrote it down somewhere. I'm still trying to find it. It's not really worth your time. It's 15 minutes long, and the whole thing is based on something that they never obviously played a clip where that happens, because it was, according to this AI voice. You know what I'm saying? Same voice you hear all the time. It happened before the service began, as people were filing in, where Willena walked over to Bob, and she didn't call him Bob. She called him by another name. And his mic had already been turned on. He had a hot mic. So we were talking about hot mics in the beginning and other examples of that. And that's what is alleged. And the person who did this video, who put together this video, is really, most of the time, they're just showing you nice pictures of Elvis and what have you. But they were trying to make it out that this was another one of those watershed moments when people said, aha, did you hear that? But nobody heard it. The only people that could have possibly heard it who were those that were already in the sanctuary and heard that through the microphone. They hadn't started the service that you would see. And if they had, you'd never see that anyway, if it actually existed. And I'm guessing that it really didn't. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I used to practice that song in 1974 by Elton John, his version of that Beatle classic, talking that song up at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. And of course, they said in the 60s, when the Beatles did it, that was code for LSD, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. But the Beatles denied that. Elaine, I don't get a lot of things, so I have to ask Wendy. She's talking to Wendy. I'm too old for babies. Oh, okay, yeah. So you don't have to get that test in the pharmacy. Don't have to get the P test. I got it. What name would make a good song? You mean Wendy? Of course. Yeah. Neo says whipped, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Harry is whipped. Maybe in more ways than we know. Maybe in more ways that we know. But I won't go into that anymore because that would be the flesh coming out in me, you see. Um, you think there's a temper involved with the future King of England, William? There was talk about William being like an alley cat during his marriage as well. Who knows? Confess it, move on. Sometimes you can do that, and sometimes you find yourself in Vietnam and there's a fierce battle going on, and you're just trying to escape the building. You want to be someone who has left the building. You know what I mean? Just going back a little bit to see if I missed anybody. So, what exactly are you saying about what Walmart is trying to get away with the great value brand? You're talking about false advertising or something, but what are they doing wrong? Yes, he talked about Adam and Eve. I've only heard some of the sermon, so I haven't heard it all. Um, it's true. Last Sunday was about mothers. We'll play a little excerpt from that in a bit. I hope Todd is doing well in Tennessee. Good to have you here, Todd. Again, thank you, Richard Lyon. Surgery tomorrow. We're going to pray for Richard tonight. Um, 3 severed heads, and Jody Smith as well for hitting the thanks button. I always got the feeling 3 severed heads that Harry put up with a lot from Megan, and did so because he's just so in love with her. I see your team, Harry. The Andrew saga. Yes, I have a book called entitled, which I'm halfway through, down on the other side, and yeah, I don't think you could top. I don't think you could top Andrew and Fergie. Andrew and Fergie, but he lost his titles and what have you, and he isn't happy with the home he's living in. It's just not big enough for him. He could still face some charges. He could still face some charges. Jack, what Walmart is doing is underweighing. I see now. Their great value food products, despite what the package will say on it. Okay, now I understand. I see. Margaret is here, is she? Hello, Margaret. Oh, there you are. It's me again, Margaret. Nice to see you. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. I read the topic on a video but didn't watch. Yeah, it's just it's so easy to say these things, and Then you go on to just doing the usual trick of showing people a parade of pictures, most pictures they've already seen and what have you, and well, you make it look nice, and they will figure that there's probably some validity to what you're saying when they may have made up the whole entire thing. So let's do that. Let's hear a little bit of Pastor Bob Joyce from this past Sunday, the 10th. Pastor Bob Joyce, Eve crowned creation. Eve crowned creation. It's a very interesting title. A little bit of Pastor Bob Joyce.
How many agree with that? You produce a family. For God says it's not good that man should be alone. From the very beginning, God already knew. But God has a wondrous way, a beautiful way, mysterious way of working out his will in the earth. He already knew what he was going to do before he even made the world. He already knew that Jesus would come and die on the cross for our sins even before the world was. But God allows man to live out his life and to do what he does, bringing him into that place, into that position where he wants him to be. God working out all the details and all the things that have to do with our redemption and our salvation. And so God, in his divine wisdom, realized, listen, you as a child of God, God intended for you not to be alone. You are not alone. God didn't intend to save just one and let everybody else go to hell. God had a plan for his family. God had a plan for you to live your life and to have a full life in this world and in the world to come. Jesus said it himself. He said, he that follows me and has forsaken all for my sake shall in this world receive 100-fold. Brothers, sisters, mothers, and houses and lands and cattle and everything. God is saying it's not designed for you to be alone. People can stand in a room with 100 other people and feel alone. People go through half their lives feeling alone, feeling that no one understands them, feeling that the world is passing them by, feeling that they don't even know why they're alive, why they're here. They set themselves off by themselves. They draw a circle like around them. And no one dare enter. But God intended for you not to be alone. He intended for you and I to share those good things that he has given to us. God intended for us to share our joy, to share those things that to us are pleasurable. The things that things that to us are our great desires. Things that satisfy. Things that are lovely, things that are good, things that are beneficial.
Pastor Bob Joyce from this past Sunday on Mother's Day. Pastor Bob Joyce, Eve crowned creation. Eve crowned creation. I want to remind you, while we're here at bobjoyce.org, where you can see that full sermon, bobjoyce.org, and here on YouTube as well, Pastor Bob will have a charity concert 1 week from this coming Friday, as I talk to you here on the 13th, Wednesday, May 2026. Charity concert to benefit ABC-FM, the Arkansas Baptist Children and Family Ministries at the First Baptist Church of Cabot, Arkansas, 204 North 3rd Street, Cabot, Arkansas. More ticket purchases can be found in the Facebook posts at ABC-FM Benefit Concert with Pastor Bob Joyce /May 22nd. You can come right here to the bobjoyce.org website as well. The preferred seating is all full up, but it's a big church, and I have a feeling there's not a bad seat in the house. $50 for the general admission tickets. Tickets are still available as I speak to you now. Don't wait any longer. Get yourself some tickets, all right, for that concert. bobjoyce.org. Back we go to the live stream. I'm glad you're still here, Richard. So what more can you tell us about your situation? I hope you'll shoot me an email or a text. That's the easiest way, right, for you. Even his delivery is all Elvis. He is not afraid of silence in his delivery. Certainly his version of You Will Never Walk Alone from Coleman, Alabama, definitely sounds like the most popular pop singer of all times. You told me at the beginning of the show. That's probably when I was doing content, looking directly at the when I'm looking at content and see, it's difficult. Do you want to do content in a live show? Well, if you don't do content in a live show, then you're going to get an audience of like 300 people. That's all you're going to get total, 400 people. If you do content, of course, you've got to look at it. I've got notes, I've got to look at those notes. So when I'm doing that, I can't see at that moment what you're writing. And of course, now it's at the very beginning of the stream. You just like being difficult with me. You enjoy it, but you will also support what we're doing here. And I appreciate that very much. Appreciate that. Richard's been with us for quite a while now. So, text it. That's all I can tell you. You are going. Well, finally, someone told me they're going to Cabot, Arkansas on May 22nd. That's great, Margaret. Very good. Glad to hear that. So you'll be our reporter on the scene, I hope, and shoot me a nice email and whatever else you can send, Love to hear your impressions and what have you. I think that'll be wonderful. People seem to be content with people who do content. Okay, Neil, that is so Neil. So if I did miss your, anytime I'm away, like when we were playing Pastor Bob's audio clip there, I can't see this screen, so I could definitely miss something at times like that. Well, at least we found out what Walmart is doing. Reminds me of the former president who was always talking about shrinkage, things that shrink. And I've noticed that there were some, let me see, what's a good example of that? The Thomas's English muffins are back to being the size they were. Maybe, can I say this? When I was a kid, for a while, they were getting really small, those Thomas's English muffins. They were. I noticed it. They got lots of nooks and crannies, baby. Lots of nooks and crannies. Kind of like somebody from that TV show, My 600-Pound Life. Jack, my sister is here. Friend from Oklahoma. My sister's friend is here. Friend from Oklahoma. Her name is Billy Joe. Billy Joe McAllister. Billy Joe, can you say hi to her? Well, hello, Billy Joe. That's the first thing that I thought of the day Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Then my son recently told me that it's not really a far jump. The Tallahatchie Bridge is not high, so you may bruise your knee, but you're not going to probably die like Robbie Benson did in the movie when he jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. He was Billy Joe McAllister. Yes, a male Billy Joe McAllister. So there you go. I think I got that right. Everybody remember Robbie Benson? He was a teen idol in the 70s. I really like Thomas's English muffins. Me too. The extra crispy. You probably like the extra crispy KFC. You know what Colonel Sanders called those? He had already sold KFC when they came out with extra crispy, but he was still the spokesman for KFC in the deal. And then he said that the extra crispy chicken was nothing more than fried dough balls. And then the Colonel was no longer the spokesman for his own chicken restaurant that he created. I had the extra crispy because this happens. Last time Karen and I were there, especially for the breasts, they said, well, it'll be a wait for the original recipe. Would you mind the extra crispy? And I was starving, We had a big thing of the coleslaw. I love their coleslaw there, right? Am I right? I don't like no stringy coleslaw, the kind you get in a deli or something like that. They actually make it good at the ShopRite. It's supposed to be granulated or whatever you want to call it, like they do over at the KFC. Theirs is the best. And for not real mashed potatoes, they sure taste pretty good, and their gravy is great. So I had that with my 4-piece, And Karen had her meal, and we shared the coleslaw. Luscious, delicious. Scroll and see my comments. Scroll back, in other words, right? Well, I'd have to. Depends how far back your comments are. But if you see me reading or you see me doing Bob Joyce playing a clip, I can't see anything. What did I miss? Can you give me, you're the second person to say this. What did I miss? Can you give me a quick rundown? I was in a car crash, been hurt real bad. When did this happen, Margaret? I'm far more concerned about what you're saying there. No big deal on the Bob Joyce story because it's only alleged. Some anonymous creator acknowledged, and I think I just said this, if this is what you're talking about, that before the service began, people were filing in, Willena walked up to Pastor Bob and addressed him, but she didn't call him Pastor Bob. So only those that were in the church, whatever Sunday that was, would have heard that. It wouldn't have made the recording even if they had begun the service, and they hadn't begun the service. So the rest of the 15-minute video was just fluff, showing nice pictures as people like to see and what have you. I know I don't do enough of that, but so that's all that was. So what's this about a car crash? What's this about a car crash, Margaret? My goodness. You're not the first person to have had a car crash lately. I'm trying to think of who else said they were involved in a car crash. So Harry and Meghan don't do anything the other royals do, but again, he's called greedy, etc. I think she would be the greedy one, treating him like Diana after her divorce, in my opinion. Okay. Here's Susie Q. I love you, Susie Q. I love Elaine Peterson, do though. But hi, Susie. Welcome. I saw you real quick as I was scrolling by. Let me just go away from this comment section, go to the email. I thought I brought my email up. I'll go to it now. President Trump is meeting President Xi as we speak at about 10:05 in the morning in China. Well, there's the vice president of China again. Yeah, Xi's right next to Trump. Okay. So they're going to have their little talksy. They're going to have their talksy. Thank you, Elaine Peterson, for hitting the Cash App for $10 for Love You, Jack Hart. $10. She's very faithful. Thank you, Elaine Peterson. I appreciate that so much. We're working on the month of June, and it's very, very lean, very, very lean so far. Nanette hitting the Cash App as well for $10. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Need more of you. Appreciate you being so faithful. So no new emails that I see right now. I'll look at my phone too, just in case. Come down here to the bottom. I won't read that one, Neil. That's a swing and a miss. Swing and a miss in the pun department. Let's see here. Cash App handle is Media Guy 56. You load that from the Google Play Store. I trust it. I've had it for years, never had a problem. You can send money out, you can receive money, etc., etc. Oh my goodness, I flipped my car with my special needs daughter and her special needs husband. Yeah, I know a couple. They're both special needs. I know a couple. We are healing. Got a brand new Trailblazer, 14 miles on it. Wow. Things are looking up, but you don't want to be looking up when you're in the car, you know. Only good thing that came out of it. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's frightening. your airbags deployed, and what kind of injuries did you get? And what about the couple that you were driving? I don't think we're on delay. Not much if we are. Helen is down in Australia being besieged by ads. Thank you, Katina. I see you're leaving. Good night, Katina Swatsworth. Katina and Chris from Pennsylvania. Team SWAT, thank you for dropping by. Sweet dreams are made of this, and God bless. Praying for everyone. Yeah, pray for Richard Lyon. Pray for Richard Lyon. And pray for Margaret and the couple that she refers to that were in the car accident. I've never had that experience, I've been bumped a little bit, but been driving since 1972, and I've not had that horrible experience. Karen is, as we get older, she's more and more reluctant, for big trips and what have you. And, I understand that. I also know that couples get to the point where they barely leave the house, It depends, Karen's a little younger than me, and I, of course, as you know, just turned 70 in March. Neil, I think you had a gummy. You know what kind of gummy I'm talking about, don't you, Neil? You do. Well, I'm glad that, you're on the mend, Margaret. That sounds scary. Very scary. So, 57 watching and 43 likes right now. Tomorrow is Karen's trip to Dr. Dama. I'm not swearing here. Damacella. I always thought it was Damacella, I think. Damacella or Damacella, something like that. She's going to get those injections, which, they kind of put you under to take away some of the pain from the arthritis, etc., in her lower back. So I'll be holding on to her as we go to the car after that. Pray for Karen, please. Pray for Karen. She has that procedure tomorrow afternoon. All of Neo's comments are they're way out there right now. I think he did take a gummy. I think he did. I think he went to his dresser. I think he got it. Well, that's what the Colonel said, Elaine, that he thought it was nothing more than fried dough balls, the extra crispy. You don't need that, right? Sometimes you don't have to improve on something. The original recipe, KFC, has been eaten billions of times around the world. So I think they got it right the first time, But I guess people like what they like. And, of course, they've expanded their menu. I know that. But not for me. Just like in most restaurants, I have the same thing pretty much. We either get a bucket with the sides, or I get a 4-piece meal. It used to be 2 sides. Now it's 1 side. You got to buy the coleslaw to go with the mashed potatoes. And they know I'm going to do it because I love that coleslaw. Things leave my mind, Neil, because I forget them. That's the scary part. So I see the neurologist on Monday for an update there. But I know Elena will probably agree, because I'm sure this is something Dr. Reese would say. It's not about brain plaque. It's not about brain plaque. Let me see. I got all these notes here from a Dr. Eric Berg, B-E-R-G, a real doctor. Dr. Eric Berg talks a lot about Alzheimer's and dementia. You might want to check out his videos right here on YouTube. And where are my notes? I found them. Not everything has disappeared on me. But Dr. Eric Berg talks about the problem isn't the plaque. That's not what's causing the Alzheimer's, according to Dr. Eric Berg, which could mean these medications that they're giving you are not what you need at all. It's the lysosomes. Is that how you say it? Lysosome. Um, that's where bad stuff is stored. Old, damaged protein, for example. And what you need to combat that, well, it's a whole bunch of things, including intermittent fasting. He has this Dr. Eric Berg, Berg, has a whole video on intermittent fasting. I haven't seen that one yet, but it's very good to go 15, 16 hours and not have anything, kind of give your system a rest. But you got to reduce your glucose. He does talk about the dreaded low carb, no sugar diet. Take something called OMAD, OMAD, says Dr. Eric Berg, and then many other supplements like curcumin, which is turmeric. I've heard for many, many years how good curcumin / turmeric is. And you want to get a good kind, not the cheapest version you can get. What's the people who oh boy, I can't think of the brand name, but also pine bark. Here's a good one, Thunder God Vine. Has anyone ever heard of Thunder God Vine? Omega-3, yes, yes, yes. I think I may have to re-examine my resistance to green tea, specifically green tea extract, because it's very good for brain function. Exercise, yeah, good old-fashioned exercise. Sleep, I'm not getting enough of it myself sometimes. And heat and cold therapy, both heat and cold therapy. Also B12, very important for brain health. Folate, Folate, and don't get too much iron. Don't take a supplement, apparently, unless your doctor has told you to, because your iron is really low. Don't get too much iron. That messes with your brain, apparently. And again, he talks about the fasting. The goal is to reduce heavy metals in your blood. Take selenium, vitamin C. A very healthy food for brain health is sauerkraut. Sauerkraut. What do you think, Jackie? Do you get enough sauerkraut? Vitamin K1. Karen actually had that. I took my first vitamin K1 today. And something I don't have laying around the house is lion's mane mushrooms. Lion's mane mushrooms. All things that will help fight the onset of Alzheimer's or dementia. But maybe not the traditional medicines. And I know you'll like that, Elaine. Lovely, Rita Maid. I saw one of Dr. Reese's videos today. He said, if you can't snuggle with your spouse, get a divorce. See, he does this off the wall stuff. Something like, do I even want to say this on the air? I know Elaine will want me to say it. How do I put this on air? You definitely want to achieve. pleasure to climax on a regular basis. You got to clean out the pipes and have a little fun at the same time, preferably with a married spouse. Is that safe enough? I didn't hear him talk about arugula. I always thought arugula was pretty good, freshly grown in, yes, your garden. It has the vitamin K, then it's probably very good for you. Send me that list, please. Okay, and just like you looked up Dr. Reese, look up Dr. Eric Berg. I'll send it in an email. Somebody going by playing the boombox. Oh my goodness. They are tasty, those lion's mane mushrooms. You had them 3 separate heads. Well, I wonder if ShopRite's going to have that, or if we don't have a Whole Foods here. I don't know where the nearest Whole Foods is. Maybe Poughkeepsie. I always say that because I think if it's going to be anywhere around here, it's going to be Poughkeepsie. But I'm going to look for those lion's mane mushrooms. Do you eat them raw, or you probably give them a little cooking time in the skillet, right? Don't cook them to death, though. Oh, Neo. I saw one of Dr. Reese's videos today. Okay, so yeah, he does do those things. He does these really short things. He'll do a video where he simply says, "You're still drinking soda? You're still drinking soda?" Things like that. Some of his videos are more detailed. He says he's retiring by 50. You won't see a 51-year-old Dr. Reese. He has a PhD. He's not a medical doctor. I should stress that. I think Dr. Eric Berg is a medical doctor. So what about OMAD? Talk about that, Rita, because that's on the list here. He didn't say much about it. He just mentioned it. Or it's written on his list. That's how I knew how to spell it. I have a butcher, cheese shop, and vet shop around the corner. Lion's mane I cook in a pasta sauce, huh? I make it really nice. Huh. You're nonstop today, Neo. You're nonstop. I did Dr. Berg's fasting, kind of, and lost 40 pounds, says Rita. So you know of him, and you have put it to the test. But now I'm eating too much and gaining. We can't forever deny ourselves our favorite foods. The thing is to regulate and go periods when you're not eating them at all, and you're just being as good as you can be, you know? There was a guy who used to have a diet, I think it was 6 days of pretty strict, kind of almost a keto kind of very low carbs, no sugar kind of diet. On the 7th day, he went crazy, go nuts, you know? He was stuffing the chocolate cake in his mouth. He was eating the pizza and everything else for 1 day of the 7. 1 day of the 7. Yeah, you know, I don't trust people that say, "Oh, I haven't had a piece of cake in 40 years." Then you're missing out. I haven't had pizza. Oh, I must have been 14 the last time I had a slice of pizza. You're missing out. You're missing out. Life is too short to eat, chicken and vegetables, and all the stuff that's on like Dr. Now's diet from 600-Pound Life. So when the woman said, well, what'd you have for lunch? He said, I had a protein shake. And he says, you don't need a protein shake. Yeah, mentally she does. Mentally she does, because you can't eat just chicken and vegetables and other green vegetables and salads, and that's all. Mentally, you need that protein, low sugar shake to experience the chocolate or the strawberry or the vanilla, whatever it is, or the Premier has a very nice caramel shake. I enjoy that. I alternate that with strawberry and occasionally chocolate. It's not gonna put the weight on. I mean, Rob Lowe endorses it, and let's face it, Dr. Now, Rob Lowe looks a lot better than you. Love you anyway, but come on, give her a break. She had to have the shake psychologically. This is a woman who used to eat everything and anything, and she's trying to stop that, you know? Well, that's the way to do it. Neil, you say you need a lot of calories. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're skinny. The thing is that you got to set out with a plan, because if you just say, well, I try to, a lot of people that would say that wouldn't be successful. So if you are, good, good. What else? We have 65 watching right now. Somebody else had a horror story. Rita says, I went through a glass front door when I was 4. Oh, I hate these kind of stories. Scare me. What am I injecting? Ozempic. That's what I'm. It's the only thing that brought down my triglycerides and has helped some of my other blood work. But I don't want to be on it forever. I get that. I don't want to be on that forever. What's forever when you're 70 years old? We don't know, do we? We don't know. We don't know. So, are you talking about the May 10th sermon, Wendy? You think that was the best preaching ever done? He's had some good ones. He's had some good ones. Yeah, I like him best when he's just talking and not shouting. That's just me. That's the kind I like. I mean, TD Jakes could do both brilliantly, but it was when he was kind of being quiet and whispering almost that I thought he was at his best. And obviously, I was drawn to preachers that never shouted, like Jack Hayford and Derek Prince, and people like that were just hardcore teachers. There's a difference between teaching and grandstand preaching that some of the the Pentecostal preachers do and stuff like that. I saw a video with Mike Winger, and he was talking about Kenneth Copeland. He's done a lot of those videos. He really thinks Ken Copeland, and he'll show you clips that kind of prove what he's saying, that Ken Copeland has lost his mind. But he also talks about Joel, and he showed a clip from a preacher who was some Pentecostal wackadoo, and he was accusing Kenneth Copeland and Joel Osteen of things I'm not even going to mention here, because unless it's verifiable, and the guy who put it up, who's got this cheap Pentecostal screaming style filled with ego and nonsense, just fluff, but he's like, oh, look at me preach kind of guy. They turned the preaching of the word into some kind of contest, and nobody has the gumption to tell him you're lousy at it. You're not even good. You're never going to be what you want to be, which is you want to have the same kind of house the preachers you're condemning have. With that said, I think both Kenneth Copeland and Joe Osteen, not Overstein, Osteen went way into the material realm, too far. Have a nice car, have a nice home, but don't have these, don't lay up for yourself treasures on this earth. Lay them up in heaven. That's where our focus should be. But that doesn't mean that you have to live in a shack and drive a Yugo, if you can find a Yugo. I mean, are there any running Yugos anymore? I don't think so. Bye, you girl. What's going on with you? Walking is very good, Neo. Walking is very good. Yeah. And as you get older, that's going to be a go-to exercise for a lot of people. It's important to do some stretching. Karen can still swim, but it's not as easy as it used to be for her. She won't be swimming this week with those injections tomorrow. I'm stuck to eating in relation to movement. So eat less. It's been more sedentary, more very busy. Works for me. I don't say I can't have certain things, but I'm lucky I'm not a sugar fiend. I am. I mean, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I love everything from home cooked on the stove, chocolate pudding to jelly donuts to Napoleons to great bakery cookies to Milano cookies, all that stuff. But I've cut way back on that stuff, way back, because before you know it, all the progress that you gained, um, you've undone it. How many people have lost a ton of weight only to gain it all back? Plus, what the heck is up with Chris Christie? My goodness. So I guess they're televising this. President Trump meets with Chinese President Xi. Trump does not look happy. Trump does not look happy. It's a whole bunch of people. It's members of the cabinet there, like Rubio, and it's easy to read Trump's face, and well, he did smile at something that was said. He's trying to be gracious. Hedzek is there. Rubio. And most of the cabinet seems to be there, at least the guys anyway. Trump is saying something now. I'll have to watch that later on. 69 watching, 54 likes. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. Please subscribe. Have you hit the subscription button yet? I would appreciate it if you would. It helps us. More people get to see the videos. Like and hit the notification bell. So when we pop on, that could happen on Sunday. I could pop on Sunday for a little bit from another state. Not just another state of mind, I will be happy, but another state on Sunday. So make sure you have that notification bell on. There's a thanks button there. First, you hit the ask button, I guess, and then that leads to a thanks button. If you can hit that for a few dollars, it would be very much appreciated. Or the Cash App, which is lowercase letters Media Guy 56 MEDIAGUY 56 Media Guy 56. For any amount, no amount is too small, no amount is too large. We've got a lot of things we want to do here. Plus, we have to supplement a retirement that turned out to be like the commercial with the couple. I quickly realized when an unexpected expense came in, that my retirement was going to need a supplement, and then things happen like $172 a month to get Camzyos, which is $9,300 a bottle, but it's a great drug. It's a great drug for those who have cardiomyopathy. That's what it's for, cardiomyopathy. Many plans won't cover it at all, Maxine Schnell is here. Always enjoy your chat line, Jack. Chat line, okay. Where are you watching from, Maxine? I may have asked you that before. What do I think of Priscilla charging a fortune to talk? Yet again, it's about her. She's now taking her son along and apparently using the stage Elvis used. Really? I haven't heard about this one. Well, any speaker that goes out, they can only charge what they're able to get, I assume what you're meaning is not what the venue is paying to have her there, but how much it costs to go see her speak. Is that what you're saying? How much does it cost to see Priscilla speak? If you're going into like a corporate event and they want somebody like Priscilla Presley, then whatever they're willing to pay is what they're willing to pay. Some people like Barack Obama can command $300,000 a speech, whereas Joe Biden can sometimes get as much as $50. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes. Sorry. Let's see. So if the whatever the you come up with a figure and you hope that they'll go for it, but it all depends. How much are you going to draw? What kind of a reaction you're going to get? I don't know. I know that Priscilla has done some of the fan conventions, and in a place like that, you charge each person for pictures with them and pictures that you autograph. They have various pictures. I'm sure she has pictures of her with Elvis. I guess they would let her do that. The Elvis Presley enterprise would let her do that. And she signs those, and, the money adds up. $15 for a picture of her and Elvis that she signs, it adds up. A lot of people, even Herman's Hermits is starting to do fan conventions now with an original member of Herman's Hermits that wouldn't be on tour if you saw him today. With Peter Noon, you wouldn't see them, but they wrote a book or something together, or it's either a book or a new CD that they did. And so he was down in Parsippany, New Jersey, and lots of other people, including a lot of the C-level horror film stars that I guess have a following. But big stars like William Shatner, when they do these things, and he does do them, and he's got I'd say a one-man show, but I think he's got a singer now that opens for him, which is a good idea, Have a singer come out and do a nice set, and then you come out and do your questions and answers and tell your stories as only William Shatner can. And I'm sure that ain't cheap to see William Shatner do his one-man show with special guest star. Psychedelic Furs canceled their spring and summer tour. We're not happy about that, but somebody is sick. Some people say it's the lead singer, medical situation that they're working on. Could be the lead singer, Richard Butler, who we love so much. We don't know, but they're not going to be on the road to at least the winter, it looks like. Hey, Robin Roman joins us. She's talking to Jupiter's Realm. Hello, Robin Roman. Welcome. 62 watching right now. I used to follow the Copelands. Me too. Back in the 80s and 90s, I watched a whole lot of the Trinity Broadcasting Network. So I saw Ken Copeland all the time. I can't say I never found him entertaining. I don't think he ever ministered to me too much, but some of the people that work for him. And then, of course, that's the first time I saw he introduced the world to Jesse Duplantis, and they're all filthy rich now and crazy. And there's a lot of fluff in there as they justify their wealth and their excessive spending and stuff like that. Yes, William Shatner does charge more because he's William Shatner. So, you got to go with a pile of money. We're talking cash money. We're not talking credit cards here. Go get mugged in the parking lot because most of them want cash, So when you go to one of these things, you're coming in, depending on what you want to do, with $300-400 or more. And that still won't be enough because there'll be somebody there you want to see and you won't have the money. Or if you bring your spouse, there won't be anything left for you. Don't be a negative Nelly, Elaine. There's some great preachers and there's some charlatans out there. They don't want to be in cahoots. They want to get it for themselves, the people that are, they don't want the competition, but if you came out of Kenneth Copeland Ministries like Jesse Duplantis, what's the guy, Andrew? He's very good. He's totally different. Andrew, somebody would know who it is. He does a teaching show, and he used to be on the Kenneth Copeland show all the time, but he's nothing like him. Nothing like him. He's just a very good, straightforward teacher who I bet lives far differently than the Copelands and the Hinns. Well, Benny Hinn's divorced now, right? Again, I think he is. Yeah. Joyce Myers, Filthy Rich, Numerous Jets, etc., etc. Do any of these preachers, Jackie or Helen, do any of them come to Australia, or are they banned? I know Engelbert was there singing "After the Lovin', I'm Still in Love with You." Do 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 do. So I just no, I don't want to do that. Same song. My mother loved "Am I That Easy to Forget," his second big hit after "Release Me," which put him on the map. Put the man who came up with the name Engelbert Humperdinck on the map. If I missed your comment, Maxine, I didn't mean to. I don't know if you told me where you're from or anything like that. So you enjoy Joyce Meyer. Some like her. Yeah, she's obviously more popular with women than she is with men. I've known a lot of women. When I was working for the 95-year-old man who then turned 96 and passed away, his daughter, although brought up in the Roman Catholic Church, was a big Joyce Meyer fan and was going to one of the weekends. The way I got work to work with her father was she was going to see Joyce Meyer. Yeah. It depends, Neo, in terms of how much they're going to charge as to how famous they are. If you're Huey Lewis, you ain't charging no $10, you ain't charging no $50. You're Huey Lewis, you know. He can't really sing too much because of his hearing difficulties, but he can sure, I mean, he has such a body of work. I never heard a bad song all my radio career, and I checked out some of the albums. I never, as far as I know, Frances Swaggart. Yeah, she's still living, right? She's very old now. Jimmy is gone. Oh, they live like kings, the Swaggarts. Absolutely. I won't fight you on that. So Elaine is basically a no here. An icon, a Pentecostal icon, died recently. Used to see her on the Trinity Broadcasting Network, both with her own show, which aired on all kinds of channels all across the land, including internationally. Marilyn Hickey passed away at 92, 93 years old. She was an icon, and she got her daughter involved. I liked her daughter more than I liked her. She was more down to earth. But, I can't say I never enjoyed Marilyn Hickey. Can't say I never did. And her daughter definitely did. But, what's going to happen is they're going to pick up the formula of the parent that's so successful. That's why Donnie Swaggart's got it down, man. He's got it down. He's got the twist of the head and everything Jimmy did, and then Gabriel Swaggart, which is Donnie's son, I believe. Yeah. It's like, wow, it's eerie. And I don't mean Erie, Pennsylvania, or Old Erie, which is downtown. So, everybody say, yeah, because you came in late, It's at the top. I've said it 3 times now because other people said the very same thing. There's no big story. It's just something somebody did in a video. I got to do content really at the beginning because it happened Wednesday night. So when are you going to get to the topic, So really, here's the conundrum. If I don't do a Bob Joyce topic in a worldwide ramblings, I end up with 300, 400 people, which means I make zero on views. I'm counting on viewers to hit the thanks button or the Cash App. And then I'm hoping for per thousand views, because for every per thousand views on a hot video or a semi-successful video, I get paid a small sum from Google. But, once it starts to accumulate, say you get 70,000 views, well, then you're getting a nice payday. Nothing like Candace, who gets 1 million, 2 million views sometimes for destroying someone's life, or Tucker, who's got a different audience now. He's lost the Republicans, and he's got the conspiracy theorists, and he's got the hate Trump people now. Did he really want them? I don't think he did, but that's what's happened. So that's the story there. It's not easy to have it both ways, where you have I've accomplished it a number of times, but the Bob Joyce story is kind of quiet right now, and it's going to pick up. I guarantee you it's going to pick up. I know this. I just can't say anything right now. So keep watching. What do you think of? Oh, yeah, I said that. I don't know where I am now. I also enjoyed Oral Roberts and Robert Schuller. Miss them. See, that would be considered the fringe, and you like them, and I don't fault you for it. I've enjoyed Richard Roberts. I mean, Lindsay Roberts, for example, when she wasn't parked in a car with her daughter's former 16-year-old boyfriend, not formerly 16, was 16, with her boyfriend, with her daughter's favorite, oh God, her daughter's former boyfriend, something like 32 times she was with this kid, allegedly. She said it never happened. Others said differently. Either in a car or at this cottage that they had with this young man, Lindsay Roberts. That's an alleged story. Have I been specific enough about that? I still will watch a little bit of Richard Roberts. He won't quit. He's still doing it. He's old now, but he's still doing it. But I used to watch a little bit. And Elvis was very influenced by Oral Roberts. He went to the Crusades when he was young. He was fascinated by this big tent crusade with Oral Roberts, and black preachers as well. Absolutely. Black preachers as well. I remember that story about Oral Roberts. If he didn't get $1 million, God would take him home. I do. The way Oral explained it, he wasn't saying it like, oh, if you don't donate, I'm going to die, because he said, if I die, to gain heaven is bliss, so I'll be good. But people took it as the very possible way to put it. Oral Roberts just said, if you don't give him money, if he doesn't get $1 million, God's going to kill him. So how many times did he authentically, how many times did God use him? Because he would say this, it's God doing it, not me. How many times was there authentic healings that occurred at an Oral Roberts crusade? I have no idea. So liking Oral Roberts and Robert Schuller is much different than Oral Roberts. Robert Schuller was a disciple of Vincent Peale, right? Is there a middle name there? Vincent Peale, who was very close to the Joel Osteen positive thinking approach, or not name it, claim it like the Pentecostal preachers would say, but a form of, you can bring it, your dream, which is supposed to be God's dream for your life, by the way, you can bring it into reality by thinking it and believing it and living it every day. And So positive thinking, a little light on the scripture, but not as light as Joe Osteen was in the beginning. But a lot of people watched Robert Schuller every week and thought he was a dynamic speaker from the Crystal Cathedral. I used to watch back in the 80s and 90s. He could be interesting. He could be. So, I know these people because I watch them. Yes, the Crystal Cathedral. I don't think that is anymore. Then his son came along. He was different and different style. And I think eventually his father was not happy with some of his sermons, and there was kind of like a parting of the ways there. Is it waves or ways? Much the same thing happened with Charles Stanley and Andy Stanley. Andy Stanley just went in a whole different direction. I think he started to become very liberal in his theology and what have you. And of course, he would have never been able to preach those sermons in his father's, Charles Stanley's church. Charles Stanley there was no wiggle room with Charles Stanley. There was no wiggle room. He was a Baptist who believed in eternal security. He believed that if you're not living your faith, you're probably not even saved. I think that's a fair comment. But yeah, I used to watch a lot of Richard and Lindsay sometimes. And Richard, of course, has his scandals too. At least one, probably two DWI arrests. He talks about it, he talks about his failures and what have you. And the whole university collapsed as soon as he became the president of ORU. And I forget what they were charging him with. I think, lavish spending of university funds for him and Lindsay to go on vacations and what have you. And Kenneth Copeland got involved and said, well, did they offer you a settlement? Whoever this was that was coming against you, did they offer you a settlement? He said, yes, but I decided not to take it. And Ken Copeland said, then you're a damn fool. Oh, the behind the scenes stuff. It's not always as good and pure as you think. Okay. I'm going to put you down as a Robert Schuller fan. He's been gone for quite a while now, right? Kenneth Hagin, yes, definitely in the mix, has inspired me a lot. Yeah, you're in the hardcore Pentecostal realm there. You're in the Kenneth Hagin. Who else do I want to say? R.W. Shambach. Used to like R.W. Shambach. I did. I used to watch him. John Hagee is totally different. He's a teacher in the Pentecostal church, He doesn't scream and shout. He's known as a good teacher. Some would say that he's a little legalistic in his teaching. Like most of the other preachers, he does have a past. He divorced his wife and married someone that was in the church he was pastoring down the road. And that woman would become, his second wife. His first wife was the mother of his son that is like Donnie Swaggart is a copy of Jimmy Swaggart. What the heck is his name? Hagee's son. He looks like him. He sounds like him. His style is very similar. Same kind of, I don't want to say tricks, but the same kind of, emphasis and what have you. Oh, I've seen him preach. What's his name? The other Hagee. Can't pull it. It's been a while since I've seen him. Well, here's somebody new saying something. I have no idea what they're saying. Little Angel Rose official. He admitted it has. He admitted it. See, you're talking about something I've already said, and I don't know what you're reacting to. To me, what's app style? App style? Yes, I wish you could too. Where are you watching us from, Angel? But Elaine, you would define legalistic as too many rules. I know what you're saying. Too many rules. You would like the grace preachers certainly over the Charles Stanleys, although he preached grace too. He did. I don't want to say he didn't. Matt, that's right. Correct. I think you're right about that. Matt Hagee? That sounds right. Could be right. I had met so many preachers, even work for one, says Neo. So you say, Neo. You'll have to send me a picture. I used to run lights for Carl Lenz. I only know Kay Lenz, who was married to David Cassidy. She was an actress. She may still be. She was in that movie, The Initiation of Sarah, Kay Lenz. The Initiation of Sarah, a very dark movie. Oh, yeah. Well, now we're talking about the big Hillsong scandal. And there's videos right here on YouTube about the Hillsong scandal. But yeah, for a long time, including when I was doing Christian radio on the network for 11 years, Hillsong, I played music from the Hillsong singers, especially when I hosted a praise segment, like morning praise or evening praise. We had that. If I was filling in on that show, I would play something from Hillsong all the time. Absolutely. Well, welcome there. We have 62 watching, a healthy number, 60. I don't see Todd anymore. I think Todd may have taken the train to the plane. I don't see Karen Phillips, only in the beginning. She's a mystery woman. She's a mystery woman. Just looking past the comments. But I'll tell you, John Hagee is much more of an authority on Israel than Tucker Carlson is. Trust me on this. All of a sudden, the guy who said, I'm a nominal Christian, and I think he was saying Episcopalian or something like that, now he's a biblical scholar, and he's wrong. He's absolutely wrong. Believe me, Mike Huckabee anytime over Tucker in terms of any kind of theology. I recently saw I Can Only Imagine 2. Recommend it. Yeah. I know the first one was a blockbuster, and I imagine the second one did very well as well. I know you're still here, Elaine, because I can see your tongue. Well, thank you. I mean, I feel right now I'm not on my game, little angel. If we can just have a private talk therapy session, it's a tough time. Views are down, and people supporting what we do here are down. I feel down when it's the same people that do it, and I'm thrilled when it's somebody new, even if it's $2, $5, whatever it is, because it's an important part, and then I see new creators just getting big views. I'm very happy for the bald and broke guy. It's going to be a challenge to keep it up because, but he does other stuff, and you're going to have to do other stuff because when you just have one kind of angle, you can only say it so many different ways, and then you start to see, okay, people start to not watch as much, and I've been there when it was, like The Verdict went to almost 250,000 views, and I'm riding high and stuff like that. But um, I'm also, what happens is oversaturation sometimes from people that really have nothing to say. Bold and Broke has a lot to say, and he toppled me. It was like there wasn't more than 3 weeks when he went from 6,000 to 12,000 subscribers. It happened that fast. After a long time of struggling, he found his niche, and boom, and he earned it. I'm very happy for him, and he's got the merch and he's got it all, and good for him. I hope he goes much higher than he is. Here's Todd Bradshaw. I see now, talking to Bayou Girl. Although that's fairly current. Okay, I wasn't sure. And Helen is still here from Australia. Well, it's afternoon time where you are, right? I think we finally made it to the afternoon in Australia. I see President Trump and Xi standing together. And as they walk by, all these young people are cheering with pom-poms. Red and green. Beautiful flowers and what have you. They know Trump likes a big show. He's going to put a big show on for July 4th. He is 250 years. I'm going to write you an email, Elaine. I'm going to write you an email. I'm not on a roll at all. I know when I'm on a roll. I know when I'm having to, try extra hard to make it happen. That's the mode I'm in. Perspective. From your perspective, I am on the other side of the world, Helen. He did? I made you laugh a few times? I don't know. Oh, dear. We had last Wednesday, we had Vinnie Maru come by, Todd, and it was really nice to see him. He said he was working a part-time job and a full-time job, and he's still dealing with what we know to be serious illness. I am amazed when somebody like that Sidney Toll, Towl, who has, how do you say it? It's a rare blood cancer. She says that every once in a while. This girl is working a job from home when she's not having to go to the emergency room. She gets chemo. She has a pain pump. She's a beautiful young girl. And, I can't believe people with terminal illnesses still have to go out and work a job. I mean, if I get a headache, I don't want to go to work, They have to go because that's how they get their health insurance, by having that job. If they give up the job, they lose the health insurance. And it still seems, and this should not be, that we'll let people die like that just can't afford the operation or can't afford the expensive medication. They have no drug coverage because they're not working anymore. Oh, boy, it's terrible. It's terrible. That should not be. I don't think I'm making anybody laugh with that, because that's a serious situation. Good to hear about Vinny. Yeah. I'm not sure if he's in Vegas or not. He didn't say, but he indicated that he was maybe doing 2 jobs now. I have been dealing with some health issues as well over the last few weeks. I'm like an old penny, though. I always show up. Try to. Yeah. Who else is well, there's a number of people. You get to the fourth quarter. I'm trying to express some of this in the Suddenly 70s series, where there's 2 videos out. If you haven't watched the Suddenly 70s videos, just go to my list here at the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, and give them a watch. They're not setting the night on fire. Kidney stones, yes. Several people dealing with kidney stones here at the channel. I've always heard that they're very painful. I hope I don't experience that. Yeah. But, Karen and I talk about this in the fourth quarter. That's when bad things are going to happen, unexpected things. And, those who live a pretty healthy life and never see a doctor and then die in their sleep at 97, they are very fortunate. They are very fortunate. So what's Bayou Girl saying? I'm not finding what I need to find. My friend gave a bunch of money to a man that has a nice pizza place down here in LaSalle, and I went in there and saw him. He said he was still working. He was in a wheelchair with both legs cut off. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so Sydney Tao, who I speak of, she had a GoFundMe, and I don't know what she asked for, but she got much more. She got much more. Her mother couldn't believe it. She said, "Do you think I can get a haircut now?" Her mother had been delivering pizzas and things like that. Yet she was able to move to New York City, Sydney, because she needed to go to Sloan Kettering Hospital. So that's what she does, and she has her chemo, and that's a whole other subject, whether you believe in chemo, but she probably would be dead by now if she didn't have the chemo. So it can extend your life. But yeah, it also messes with your good cells and what have you. Exactly. It's a hard call. We got to take care of people, whether they can afford the health insurance or not. If we can give $300 billion to the Ukraine that seems to have had no positive effect, we can sure give people insurance that can't afford it. Some can afford to pay a little bit. It just depends on your income level, that kind of thing. Like people that go on Medicaid, when they start working, they don't lose the Medicaid right away. They start, you have to get to a certain level of earning before you lose it completely. You can you can have the pay Medicaid where you pay a portion. So that seems to make sense. Guy had his little granddaughter on his lap who was in the wheelchair, so sad, 3 years old. Yeah, the things that people have to go through, and in the fourth quarter, you're going to see more of those kind of things. What is exactly wrong with Bayou Girl? I'm trying to find it. I'm not finding it. I think it's raining out there now, folks. Not seeing what I need to see. So 60 watching right now. My goodness, we're past 2 hours already. Can you believe that? Amazing. Amazing, amazing. So we did a pop on. I'm not going to keep this up. It's only 11 minutes from the gazebo earlier. I see it in the comment section here by you, girl, from earlier today. You're going to surgery to get the big kidney stone out of the tube. It's way down, almost blocking me from urinating. That's panic when that happens, right? It's like, don't get a spinal. If they ask you what kind of injection, don't say spinal, because when you're out from having your knee replacement or whatever they did for you, it's going to be hard to be able to pee. So don't choose a spinal. It also hurt, the spinal injection, when they gave it to me. Gloria Drummond checked in during the promo video. Hello to you, Gloria Drummond. Jean Thomas did as well. And she's probably asleep now because she's from Wales. We have two people from Wales. Hello, at least two, maybe three. Hello, Jack. It's me again, the dinner lady from Wales. Hope your health is improving. Well, I'm okay, but you never know. Going to see the neurologist on Monday will be something I've been waiting to do. Nice to see and hear you. Thank you, Jean Thomas, and Katina checked in there. She had heard something about a mic moment. Well, you'll be able to hear the beginning of the video in just a few minutes when we go there. Here's my inbox right there. And yes, Mr. Todd Bradshaw from Tennessee hits the Cash App for $30. Thank you, Todd, for kitty treats and pipe cleaning supplies. Oh, I haven't had my pipe in a long time. I did buy 2 cigars to sit in the refrigerator in the butter drawer, my Dutch Masters. And, who knows when I'll even have the first one. Throughout the summer, maybe I'll have a half dozen or less. I don't want to get into that habit. Rush Limbaugh should have never smoked as many cigars as he did. And now I see Joe Rogan's doing it. But Todd Bradshaw, $30 on the Cash App for kitty treats and pipe cleaning supplies. Yeah, I'll be feeding the kitties in about 20 minutes. I'll be out there on the back porch. You know what I do. Now, I don't think I need to heat the pad tonight because I think it's warm enough. What's the temperature? 57? Yeah, I don't need to heat the pad. But sometimes even when it's like 50, there's a breeze blowing, and I bet you they'd like that pad heated up. So I'll be feeding them, and they'll be waiting for me. They're waiting right now. I wish you could see it, Todd. I'll take a picture. And I'll show it in a future show when I know you're here. There's Suki and her 4 kittens. Sometimes there might be the dad. That's Tabby, we call him. Excuse me. And sometimes Barnabas, but Barnabas is too shy to get some. He'll never get the can because he's too shy to join in. So then I put some dry down when all is said and done, and he probably will have a chance to get some then. But yeah, that's got to be right there. That's $30 a month right there, just for 30 cans of the Friskies. They got a new kind that's like 5 cents more. It smells good and everything. I think I'll give it a little taste. But thank you, Todd. The Cash App handle also works if you're in the replay audience. Is lowercase letters Media Guy, the number's 56. Media Guy 56. Thank you. And thank you for those that have already hit the thanks button, including Jody Smith and Miles Wright. Got to go back here, see if I can backtrack. I'll forget somebody. I know I will. My mind's like a sieve sometimes, which is a little scary to tell you. For some reason I can only go back so far, then it stops letting me, which means there's just something else I need to do at that point that I don't know about. Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. It'll let me go down, but it won't let me go up. Because I know I've already thanked you, but a few people that hit the thanks button, and I'm very grateful for that as well. Three severed heads. Yes, thank you. Three severed heads. We'll go down to the end here. So it's a challenge. We'll see. I don't know how long we can keep this going. I hope we can keep it going because, I feel I owe that people that have been helping me all along. And I'm very, very, very grateful for that. And some that can't. And I respect that. Somebody was mentioning the buy me a coffee thing. That is really a smart, another way of saying $5 tip, but they take some of it. And I don't think it's the thing. Obviously, it is people that give more than that sometimes that help me meet the very minimum goal. Wow, it's pouring out there now. It's pouring. So I don't want to lock somebody into that. The Buy Me a Coffee app is only good for someone who has thousands of people watching his live stream or her live stream, someone that has far more subscribers. It's for high volume people. That's the best way I can describe it. So we have to pray for Jupiter's realm. We have to pray for Richard Lyon, who's having surgery tomorrow morning. He said he talked about what kind of surgery in the beginning, but that's when I was doing the content, so I didn't see it. And we have to pray for Margaret, who's healing. I put my cigars in the refrigerator, Neo. That's good enough. I don't have the fancy dancy ones, And if you buy them in the pouch, the Dutch Masters, they stay fresher longer than if you buy the individual cigar in just the like cheap wrap, Haven't heard from Chris Starry. Continue to play for Chris Starry. And so many people have challenges as we get to be a certain age, those of us that are, or maybe the cats won't be there if it's raining that hard. They usually come. They go from one shelter, the neighbors, they'll run over real quick because they want to be fed, But we do have a house that's somewhat covered on our porch. So remember to pray for those people. Sunday, I'll be down at the Polish Club in Clark, New Jersey. Sometime after 1 o'clock in the afternoon for Jimmy Stir. Going to be a great show. It was last year. Polka Sean and Polka Norma are driving us down there. I'm very appreciative to them for doing that. In Romans chapter 6, beginning with verse 15. What then shall we say? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? By no means. Don't you know that when you offer yourselves to someone to obey him as slaves, you are slaves to the one whom you obey? Lust can become your master, in other words. Gluttony can too, which leads to death, or to disobedience, which leads to righteousness. But thanks be to God that though you used to be slaves to sin, You wholeheartedly obeyed the form of teaching, he's talking to the Romans, to which you were entrusted. You have been set free from sin and have become slaves to righteousness. That's the goal, to be a slave to righteousness and not a slave to sin. I put this in human terms because you are weak in your natural selves. That's for sure. Just as you used to offer the parts of your body in slavery to impurity and to every increasing wickedness, so now offer them in slavery to righteousness, leading to holiness. Amen. From the 6th chapter of the book of Romans in the NIV. Zoo Crew coming in late again with those prayer symbols. And Pam Donnelly says, good night, all. Good night, Pam. Amen from Todd Bradshaw. Again, thank you, Todd, for hitting the Cash App. Thank you for those who will hit the thanks button or have hit the thanks button. Kenneth King, I started feeding 2 cats when the weather was real cold. Yeah. And icy. Now I have 14. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We were able, not us, but the guys next door were able to trap the cats in something that they got. You know, they come in to eat the food and the thing closes on them. And the mom cat and her 4 kittens were all fixed. They were all fixed and then came back here, of course. And they will be 1 year old on Friday. We're going to have a party for them. They will be 1 year old this Friday. How time flies. We still have 53 watching, so it's a healthy number, but I don't know how that's going to transmit to views. We hope it, it will do okay, because that's important too. When you see something get 200, 300 views, that's not a successful video, As Memphis Mafia Kid said, he wasn't referring to me. I know who he was referring to. He said, well, if it got to the point where I were getting 200 or 300 views, I'd say time to quit. Not enough people are interested. He wasn't talking about me, and he does much better than that. I enjoy Memphis Mafia Kid. I enjoy him. He doesn't believe Bob Joyce is Elvis. He always gets nervous and kind of laughs nervously when he says it, though, which makes me a little suspicious. Gene Smith didn't believe that was the body of Elvis in the coffin. He said that in an interview, and he was very well spoken before he passed away. So, thank you there. Appreciate that very much. So sometime during the day tomorrow, I will email you, Elaine. I will do it. And thank you for watching Worldwide Ramblings. Hello, replay crowd. Please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Please hit the thanks button if you can. And we'll see how we do. Had fun tonight, even though it wasn't, I wasn't feeling like I was on my game. You people compensated in a wonderful way in terms of encouragement and interacting with each other. And Saturday was felt like an out and out disaster, to be honest with you. But Elaine was there. All right. So off we go to Karen's procedure tomorrow. Please pray for Karen along with the people that we mentioned, that goes well and that she gets some relief from the pain in her lower back. For now, ta-ta. Have a wonderful Thursday if you're watching live. Be interesting to see what happens with China, and we got to get this whole thing straightened out with Iran, because the midterms are a coming, and we don't want to be besieged by the evil forces of people that don't love America at all. Bye-bye for now.